إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله أما بعد. طيب, my brothers, last week we spoke about some of the signs of the last hour. Today, for a few lessons, inshallah, we'll talk about signs of the last. Maybe next week the last lesson on signs of the last hour. It's very important that we understand and we know the signs of the last hour. What were the how many types of signs of the last hour? How many types are there?
The minor and the major.
Okay, the minor and the major signs.
The ones that have happened already and the ones that are coming all together.
Okay, so that's one of the categories of sign of the last hour, major sign and the minor sign. And we mentioned another categories. Who remembers?
Oh, is it to do with the time period?
Go on, say it.
Yeah, so the time gap between the major signs is very short, and the time gap between the minor signs can be quite long.
Okay. Scholars, they divided the sign major and minor. That's one way. In second way, they've done it as well. This minor signs are two types. One is that already happened, okay, and second category is minor signs that still happening now and continue to happen, and we don't know the muhla, we don't know the time period. And the third is that major signs. We'll talk some of the major signs as well. So, طيب, what were the minor signs we mentioned last week?
Minor signs we mentioned last week.
What did we talk about?
Did we mention this last week? The tower, the four buildings.
That's one of them. We spoke in detail. Do you remember?
Yeah, yesterday, but obviously the brothers alluding to as well. We know that once the minor sign is finished, the major sign that characteristic is like it's like a ripping of a pencil detail goes quickly.
Yeah. But we mentioned which minor sign did we talk about last week?
The arrival of the Prophet ﷺ.
That's it. Arrival of the Prophet ﷺ. He said, "I'm between the time of between the last hour. I was sent between the last," and he closed his finger like this. And that's one. And secondly, we mentioned what was it? His death was a sign. Why? Because once he died, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, no prophet coming, the last prophet. That means the last hour is closed. Is prophet alive or dead? Is prophet alive or dead? He passed away. Who do you remember the ayah in evidences? No. Evidence. Do you remember any evidence, inshallah? Go on.
You can use the last ayah in Surah Al-Kahf where Allah tells the Prophet ﷺ to say, "I'm a human just like you, and I've come to tell you that your God is but one God."
No. That he passed away. The evidence for it that he passed away.
You're going to die and they're going to die.
Okay. إِنَّكَ مَيِّتٌ وَإِنَّهُمْ مَيِّتُونَ. Indeed, you will die, and those who before after you and them, they will die as well. So this ayah was used by who? Abu Bakr Siddiq, to prove that Rasulullah has passed away. Also, we can use other hadith as well. When Prophet ﷺ was his uncle saw in a dream that the earth was pulled out, and he told Prophet ﷺ, what is the translation of this dream? He said, "Oh, my uncle, your nephew will pass away." He mentioned like that. So these are the evidence. We can use evidence like the Sahaba, they agreed upon that Prophet passed away. Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu, his daughter Aisha radiallahu anha also confessed that Prophet has passed away. So these are evidence we can use to establish the Prophet has passed away. And I've also mentioned that if Abu Bakr Siddiq said the Prophet has passed away, do we need somebody 13, 14, 100 years later to come and say Prophet hasn't passed away? Iyadu billah. The company agreed that he's passed away. And also those people who believe that he hasn't passed away, they use that argument to say we can call on Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Big shirk billah azza wa jal. We spoke about that. Today inshallah we'll discuss about also the minor sign, Nash'atul Khawarij, the appearance of Khawarij. And now what does Khawarij mean? It's a sect, is a group. Prophet specifically spoke about them. Khawarij is plural of Kharija or Kharijah, which mean to go out. So they basically, Khawarij are the group, Muslim group, unfortunately. They go out and they revolt against the rulers. That's the main, one of the main sifat of Khawarij. They revolt with the rulers. And now, regarding revolting against the rulers, is clearly forbidden in Islam. It's haram. And now, to revolt with the rulers, it is, why is haram? Because the mafsada is great, the harm is great. And the qa'idah is in Islam, we have the qa'idah principle is that dar'ul mafasid muqaddim ala jalb al-masalih, that preventing harm takes the precedence over gaining benefit. So even if there is a benefit of khuruj, revolting with the rulers, mafsada is great, bloodshed is great, the killing is great. So you don't do khuruj. It's not allowed to go out and revolt against the rulers because the harm is great. Also in the qa'idah, Islamic principle, we learn that la yuzal al-shar bil-shar. Okay? That you do not remove evil with evil. Okay? If there's evil, you don't use harm to remove harm, because it's causing more harm. And many hadith we can say use la darara wa la dirar. Hadith Abu Sa'id al-Khudri radiyallahu anhu, do not harm yourself and the others. So khuruj is one of the way to harm the public, bloodshed, killing. So this mafsada is great, okay? You cannot use khuruj, okay? Because you're using harm to remove the harm, which is not allowed. So in this aspect, you obey the ruler. In the Quran, Allah said, يا أيها الذين آمنوا أطيعوا الله وأطيعوا الرسول وأولي الأمر منكم. That all those who believe, obey Allah and His Messenger, وأولي الأمر منكم, and those in the authority over you. Abdullah ibn Abbas says, أولي الأمر are the ulama, scholars. Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu said, أولي الأمر is the leaders. We have to obey them in good. We have to obey them. We cannot revolt against them because of the mafsada is great. Okay? The fatwa is there, but the lajna, that for someone to revolt, he can do it, providing these conditions are met. That it is controlled, okay? He's able to do that, there's no bloodshed. If the conditions are met like that, then it is allowed to make khuruj, but it is impossible to have this condition to be fulfilled. Because if you look in the history, you never see khuruj, revolting was safe. All bloodshed, you can see in front of our eyes now. So Prophet ﷺ forbade khuruj, he forbade going out and revolting against the rulers, bringing down the rulers down. It is not allowed in Islam, it is forbidden. So Khawarij is plural of Kharij. This is the name is given to them, that they go out and revolt against the rulers. They have other names. Also they have Hurura. Hurura is a place in Iraq where they stood. It's a place in Iraq where they stood. They're given that name. Also they're given the name of Mariqa, to penetrate, to leave. Okay? And the hadith, Prophet said that Yamruquna min al-Islam kama yamruq sahm min al-rami. That they will leave Islam the way the arrow leaves the prey. Talk about the Khawarij. And some of the ulama, they use this hadith to say they are not Muslims. minority scholars have said they are not Muslim. Majority of the scholars have said, Ibn Taymiyyah rahimahullah and others, they are still Muslims. Okay, Ali radiallahu anhu said, when he was asked about Khawarij, have they left Islam? He said, no, in fact, they left Kufr, but they're oppressing us. So Khawarij are Muslims, but they're upon Bid'ah. So what does the hadith mean? They left Sunnah and they're gone to Bid'ah. That's what it means. Shaykh bin Baz made takfir on Khawarij because of his evidence he had. But Jumhur, majority of scholars, have never made takfir on them. Sahaba never made. So Khawarij, they call Mariq because they penetrate, they leave. The hadith said, Yamruq, they leave, they will leave, they go through. The way the arrow leaves the prey. Subhanallah. Prophet specifically speaking with the Khawarij and the harm of the Khawarij. So the Khawarij, in another hadith, Prophet said the Khawarij hum kilabun nar. Khawarij hum kilabun nar. Khawarij are dogs of the hell. He said the word kilab. Okay, Prophet kalb. Can you imagine? Prophet never said about any other groups like this. Shows how deviant they are. Tayyib. So Khawarij, this is what the word Khawarij mean, from Kharij, Kharija, or you can say. The Prophet ﷺ, this is where the Khawarij came about. They appeared from this hadith will tell us. Prophet ﷺ was distributing some silver, was given to him by his son-in-law Ali radiallahu anhu from Yemen, distributing it. And one of the men came and said, Ya Muhammad, i'adil, be just. That's the khuruj he has made to Prophet ﷺ. That's the khuruj. You revolted against Prophet ﷺ by saying that, Ya Muhammad, be just. The Prophet said, Waylak, in lam a'adil man ya'adil. If I'm not just, then who's going to be just? So Umar al-Khattab radiallahu anhu, he said, Ya Rasulullah, da'ani an adrib unuqahu, hadha al-munafiq. Ya Prophet, allow me to chop his head of this munafiq. Then Prophet ﷺ stopped him. He said, don't kill him because people will say that Muhammad killed his companions. Okay? Then we'll mention the rest of the hadith. Tayyib. The word waylak, wail, and the kaf joined to you, referring to you or so whoever. I'm going to mention the name as well anyway. Waylak means halak, destruction. The ulama says that this word is used when you intend destruction for that person. So when this man said to Muhammad, Ya Muhammad, be just, Prophet said, waylak, destruction upon you, corruption upon you, punishment is upon you, waylak. So hadith explains this, okay, the narration Sahih Bukhari, that this person, his name is Abdullah bin Dhil Khuwaysira at-Tamimi, or Dhul Khuwaysira, that's what we can say, Dhul Khuwaysira, but his name is Abdullah bin Dhul Khuwaysira at-Tamimi. He's the one who came to Prophet and said, i'adil ya Muhammad, be just. That was the khuruj he made to Prophet ﷺ by saying that. Dhul Khuwaysira is from him. So Prophet, he said in another hadith that لو أدركتهم لأقتلنهم كقتل عاد. That if I were to meet them, I would like to kill them, destroy them, the way the Ad was destroyed. Obviously, the Prophet did not meet them. After his death, Khawarij appeared at the time of the companions. So Prophet ﷺ, when Umar bin Khattab wanted to take his head of this munafiq, Dhul Khuwaysira, Prophet said that, leave him. إنما يخرج من ضأد هذا قوم يقرؤون القرآن لا يجاوز حناجرهم يمرقون من الإسلام كما يمرق سهم من رمي. That إنما يخرج من ضأد. ضأد refers to something, not progeny. Means Ibn Kathir explains what it means. From him, from Dhul Khuwaysira, people will appear. Not progeny will appear, means that people like him in his attributes, in his action, in his statement, in his belief, in his methodology. People will appear and they will behave like this. The Khawarij. Okay? Not his progeny, but people will appear like him in future. Okay? And they will behave like this. They will act like this. Okay? This Khawarij, yeah. So, okay? That's what da' mean. Da'di. إنما يخرج من ضعدي, indeed from people appear like him in the belief, in statement, in the methodology, and they will speak like this, and they follow the manhaj like that. And then the Prophet described, they read Quran, it will not pass their throat. It will not pass their throat. Okay? So that's the hadith. There's so many numerous hadith of the Khawarij. It's good that we learn about the Khawarij. And he said in the hadith, قوم تحقرون صلاتهم مع صلاتهم صيامهم مع صيامهم. Okay, that Prophet ﷺ addressing to the companions that your salah is very little compared to their salah. Your siyam is very little compared to their siyam of the Khawarij. They will pray so much, they will fast so much so they will have mark on their forehead because of their ijtihad in the ibadat. Okay, when Abdullah ibn Abbas was sent to them, he described them, subhanallah. The 4 mark on their forehead and the mark on their arm and their knees because of ruku and sujood. All this ibadat they have done for Allah, it was all was not accepted. They were still dogs of the hell because of the bid'ah they have done, the innovation they have done. Part of the khuruj, revolting against the rulers. Also, the part of their belief is that may just take out of fold of Islam. This is not the belief they had, and they propagated that. So Allah's wrath was upon these people, these Khawarij. And Ibn Umar said, Al-Khawarij hum shirar khalq Allah Azza wa Jal. That Khawarij are the worst of the creation of Allah Azza wa Jal. Okay? So the Khawarij is one of the signs of the last hour. The ulama have mentioned it. Okay? So the books are written about the Khawarij to explain the harm and the evil they have done. And the Khawarij, they hate Sahabas so much. They would hate Sahabas. Okay? Abdullah bin Khabbab radiallahu anhu was going by, and he was going with his wife, and she was expecting a child, and she was pregnant, and Khawarij, he met Khawarij, and there was confrontation, and he was asked about Abu Bakr and Umar. And Abdullah bin Khabbab radiallahu anhu, he praised Abu Bakr and Umar and Uthman, all of them, and they killed him and they killed his wife. They hate Sahabas. Khawarij, they hate Sahabas. They hate Sahabas more than the Shia. Subhanallah. Shia at least praise Ali and Hassan Hussein and Ahlul Bayt. They hate the Khawarij hate the companion in totality. Yadu billah. So their extreme opinion they followed, subhanallah. And so Khawarij, Prophet specifically mentioned about them, the dogs of the hell. Tayyib, yeah.
I don't understand the meaning of Khawarij. Is there
Khawarij,
add something?
who knows? Khawarij, as I mentioned, they go out, revolt against the rulers to bring them down. Okay? So if they don't like a ruler, they're not happy with them, he will go out, they'll go out and revolt against the rulers. But this is something that Prophet forbade us to do, as I have mentioned, because the mafsada, the harm is greater. As we can see around Muslim countries, that's what they're doing. Okay? To topple a ruler, it will cause more harm to the public, to the nation. We don't do that. So Prophet said, obey them in good. Obey them in good. Do not try to topple them, because it's going to harm them, to harm the public. There's no benefit in that. Okay? So Islam says, لا يزال الشر بشر. Okay? You do not remove harm with harm. Understand? It's going to make it worse. So the Khawarij is something we need to know about. We don't follow the way because of the mafsada is great. Mafsada is very great. The next Ashtatu Sa'a, the ulama have mentioned, is that fitna qawlu bi khalq al-Quran. That the problem, the corruption, the fitna that appeared when the statement of Quran is being created. Quran, speech of Allah, is created, and this is a fitna that appeared at the time of Imam Ahmad, rahimahullah. That we know Quran is a speech of Allah, okay, uncreated. Quran is sifa min sifatillah. Quran is speech of Allah, is Allah's attribute, and it is uncreated. Now this fitna appeared at time of Imam Ahmad, and a lot of ulama have given their life for this. The Quran, for them to say Quran is not created, they lost their life. Some had to leave, you know, they had to leave for the fear for their life. So when this fitna appeared, and some of the ulama had to leave, some died, some stood firm. Imam Ahmad, rahimahullah, when he was condemned, and he was condemned, he was tortured, he was lashed, and he will not give up. And they asked him, is the Quran is created or uncreated? Makhluk or ghayr makhluk? He said, it's ghayr makhluk. Quran is not created. It's sifat of Allah. And this is the trial Imam Ahmad went through. And one of the saying of Yahya bin Ma'in, rahimahullah, Yahya bin Ma'in, yeah, that Allah Azza wa Jal aided this deen with two people. Abu Bakr, at the time of Riddah, you know, when the zakat was not given, at the time Allah saved this, protected this deen through Abu Bakr, and the time of Mihna, at the time of when Quran the fitna of Quran is created, at the time of Imam Ahmad. So Allah saved this deen through Abu Bakr and Imam Ahmad. So that's the fitna appeared. But we believe Quran is speech of Allah uncreated, because at Allah's attribute is uncreated. So we cannot say, and to say it's created, major kufr, and iyadu billah. Tayyib ikhwan. So that's one of the sign of the last hour. Quran, the fitna of Quran being created. Tayyib. The next one is many signs. One of the is that intishar al-zina wa shurb al-khamr, the spreading of zina, fornication, and spreading of drinking khamr. Now, each of these acts is major sin. In the Hadith of Prophet ﷺ, he said that لا يكونن من أمتي أقوام يستحلون الزنا والحرير والخمر والمعازف. That there will come a time the people from my nation will make halal what? Zina, silk, drinking alcohol, and ma'azif. Okay? Now there are many ayah in the Quran. Allah forbade zina. لا تقربوا الزنا إنه كان فاحشة. Okay? Do not go close to zina. Don't do anything that will lead to zina, because it is a fahisha, and that shows it is a major sin. Allah described the act to be fahisha. Fahisha is described as is something filth, described as filth. The word fahisha means filth, and the word fahisha generally used for zina, but some use for any major sin called fahisha. Tayyib. So now yastahillun istihlal. Ibn Qayyim says istihlal means someone does an act to believe it is halal. Someone does an act to believe it is halal. Okay? Ibn Taymiyyah says, he said that whoever does a sin or any major sin, believing it is halal, then he's a kafir. Okay? It's called shirk fil tashri', shirk al-tashri'. That someone does an act believing it is halal. Someone does a sin or major sin, believing it is halal. Someone drinks khamr, I believe it's halal. Someone he murders, or he drinks alcohol, or he eats interest, and he believes it is halal. The person is for the fold of Islam. If he does with knowledge and everything, basically, obviously, then becomes halal. He becomes a kafir because he made istihlal. He made the act, this major sin, to be halal for him. Or to say, backbiting is halal for me. You know? Now backbiting, some istihlal are two types. Istihlal in terms of hukum is that, in terms of ruling is that, if someone makes istihlal halal, say backbiting, sometimes backbiting is halal. But if you say backbiting is halal for me, you can't say it's kafir, because sometimes you can backbite for greater maslaha. For example, if someone came for a marriage proposal, and you know that person, the person is very bad, okay, then you can say backbiting is halal for me now. It is halal, because you have to speak the haqq. Prophet spoke the haqq about a person, a lady came to Prophet and said, what do you say about so and so? Prophet backbited him, but he need to speak the haqq, because expose the person, because she need to know who the person is in order for her to marry. So in that sense you can backbite, because it is halal. So if someone says backbiting is halal for me now, nothing wrong with that, because it is halal. Because you expose the person, tell the person who really the groom going to be. Is it good or a bad? If he's a bad, go tell the people, look, person you want to marry, this is his bad qualities, and he's bad in that. So you have to tell them, this is halal. This istihlal is halal. But if someone says he's drinking alcohol, it's halal for me, there's no way you can say it's halal. There's no way Sharia makes it halal for you. So this is, then the person will go out of all of Islam. But general principle, backbiting is haram, isn't it? It's major sin. But certain cases, it is halal. Okay, it is halal. Lying is haram. But certain cases you have to lie to save your life or somebody's life. So you can say, I can lie now to save his life. It's halal for me. That's okay, no problem with that. Now, istihlal, when it comes to belief, or when it comes to sometimes some of the scholars make istihlal which relate to the belief, istihlal that relates to the limbs, to the action. For example, the hadith here, or Prophet said that there'll come people from my ummah will make these things halal: zina, silk, alcohol, music. The ulama have explained this istihlal referring istihlal amaliya, not i'tiqadiyya, amaliya, meaning that they fornicate, they drink alcohol, they do this fawahish. It's like halal for them, but they don't believe it. They don't believe it. You can have a ruler, okay, he facilitates this, opens up this for the public. He made it halal in a sense that he doesn't believe it, but action says his action made it halal. He doesn't say, I'm opening this up, I'm allowing people to do this because it is halal. Then the person will be out of all of Islam. But he said it's not halal, but I'm just doing it for benefit for the community, to make some money, for tourism and whatever, So then what's going to happen? This is istihlal, but not istihlal, it's amaliya, not i'tiqadiyya. Okay, he doesn't believe it. He's making easy for the public. So
two types.
Amaliya. Look, we have Muslims doing major sins. It's nothing for them. They're doing it. It's a halal for them. But if you ask him, is it halal? La, I don't believe it. I'm just weak. I'm just falling into it. Yadu billah. Okay. So istihlal is someone does an act, a major sin or act of sin, believing it's halal. Okay, believe it is halal for him. Okay. So Prophet says yastahillun, they will make halal, and this halal could be either way, in terms of belief, or it could be action as well, just action.
So it's amaliya belief.
Amaliya is action. Yeah, is the belief. He does it and he believes it as well. Yadu billah. Someone can say, for example, drink alcohol. Let me give you an example. But he doesn't believe it's halal, but it's fitna for him. He drinks it. Like one of the companions, I don't know his name, he was addictive. He was he was alcoholic. Subhanallah. He will not stop drinking alcohol. He doesn't say it's halal, but it's fitna for him. He drinks alcohol. And the Sahabi was sitting next to Prophet drinking alcohol, and the companion were cursing him. Prophet said, don't curse him. He loves Allah and His Messenger. It's fitna for him. He can be fitna so much, he can't stop drinking alcohol. You're Muslim, it's haram, but he's drinking it. He doesn't say it's haram, he doesn't say it's halal for me, but I'm just drinking because I'm weak. So this is istihlal amaliya, not i'tiqadiyya. Yeah. طيب يا إخوان. So that's what istihlal is. It's good, important we understand this, what istihlal mean here. So these are some of the minor signs. Brother, there's so many minor signs. I'm not going to mention everything. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to mention the major signs. Okay? Let's go into major signs, inshallah. طيب. Okay, the major sign, let's start the first one inshallah. The Hadith of Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم رواه مسلم عن حذيفة رضي الله عنه أن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم أنه قال اطلع النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم علينا ونحن نتذاكر. Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم came to us, we were reminding one another. So Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم said that ما تذاكرون, what are you reminding one another? قالوا نذكر الساعة, we are reminding one another about the last hour. So Prophet said إنها لا تقوم حتى ترون قبل 10 آيات. The sign of the last hour will not establish until you see 10 signs. Minor signs are happening. Last hour hasn't come yet. But when you see this major sign, khalas, day of judgment is here. One after another is coming now. Okay? So he mentions it. Ad-Dukhan, smoke, Ad-Dajjal, Dajjal, the fourth, the lie Messiah, yeah? Ad-Dabba, the beast. وطلوع الشمس من مغربها, the raising of the sun from the west. نزول عيسى ابن مريم, coming down of Isa alayhi salam. ويأجوج ومأجوج, we will talk of all of them inshallah. ثلاثة خسوف, the three sunking of the earth. خسف بالمشرق, sunking of the earth from the east. خسف بالمغرب, the west, sunk of the earth. وخسف بجزيرة العرب, the peninsula of the dominion of Arab will have sunk. Okay. وآخر ذلك نار تخرج من اليمن تطرد الناس إلى محشرهم. The last one is that fire that will appear from Yemen. Is a cave in Yemen. It exists now. Fire will come out from that, and that will push the people, okay, to the mahshar, to the gathering. Okay. That's the hadith, Sahih Muslim. Today, inshallah, and one of the narrations said, وَالْعَاشِرُ نُزُولُ عِيسَى بْنِ مَرْيَمَ. Another narration said, the 10th is that coming down of Isa alayhi salam. Another narration mentioned that Isa is the last. Now, regarding the order of it, scholars have said, there's nothing thabit in which order. Because the hadith, looking at the hadith, it doesn't tell you. Some hadith says this, some says that. So there's no order form. But all of them are mentioned. Which order? There's no order. Okay, there's nothing order. What we can say, last one is mentioned, Isa ibn Maryam. The other one says, the fire that will come out from the cave from Yemen. Tayyib. Today we'll talk about, inshallah, the first major sign of the last hour is Imam al-Mahdi. Tayyib ikhwan. Imam al-Mahdi. Mahdi is from the word, is ismu maf'ul from hada, which means guided. The one is guided, protected, looked after. Munqad lil khair, means he's protected, he's guided. That's what it means. That Allah Azza wa Jal will guide him, protect him. Protect Imam al-Mahdi. Guided, yeah. Guided, yeah. To be guided, be protected. That's what Mahdi is. In the hadith narrative, Abu Sayyid Khudr radiallahu anhu, the Prophet said that the Mahdi will be from my lineage with curved nose. You will fill the earth with justice. Just it had been filled with oppressions and things like that. So he will come and he will judge for 7 years. So he's going to come with justice, with just law. He's going to spread the justice. As much as there was oppression on the earth, he removed that. Okay? That's Imam Mahdi. And he will rule for 7 years on earth, Imam Mahdi. طيب. Now when Imam Mahdi comes, there will be a lot of blessing, a lot of peace and tranquility on earth. And through Imam Mahdi, Allah Azza wa Jal will send a lot of things, khair for the ummah. Okay? He will send a lot of khair. عن أبي سعيد الخدري رضي الله عنه أن رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم قال يخرج في آخر أمتي مهدي يسقيه الله الغيث وتخرج الأرض نباتها ويعطى المال سحاها تكثر الماشية وتعظم الأمة ويعيش 87 حججا. طيب, the hadith says that at the end of the time of my ummah, Imam Mahdi will come, he will appear, Allah will grant him rain, the earth will give out fruits, he will give a lot of money, cattle will be produced, and the ummah will become a great, and he will rule for 7 years. So what does it show? When Imam Mahdi comes, this thing will appear. Cattle, lot of rain, lot of money, lot of virtue Allah will send down because of Imam Mahdi. وأن علي قال قال صلى الله عليه وسلم المهدي منا أهل البيت يسرح الله في ليلة. What it means is that Imam Mahdi is from my house, from Ahlul Bayt. Allah will rectify the affair in one night. Okay? One night. So Imam Mahdi will come first, then Dajjal, then Isa alayhi salam. As I said, the Imam Mahdi will fill up the earth with khair, okay, justice. He will bring the Muslim in under one banner. Okay? He will bring the Muslim under one banner, my brothers. Imam Mahdi, Hadith of Salama, قالت سمعت رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم يقول المهدي من إترتي من ولد فاطمة. That Mahdi is from the progeny of children of Fatima radiallahu anha. Okay? So when Imam Mahdi comes, he will come down, Allah will send him, and then Dajjal will come, then Isa alayhi salam will come. And it will be in Damascus. And Isa alayhi salam will enter Masjid White Dome, where even now it exists. He's going to go in there and he will see Imam Mahdi. It will be time for Fajr. Imam Mahdi will request Isa alayhi salam to lead the Salah, and he will say, the Iqamah is given for you, Adhan was given for you, you lead the prayer. Imam Mahdi will lead the prayer. So this is the sign of the major sign of last hour, which is coming of Imam Al-Mahdi. So inshallah, so we'll give a break now. We'll continue next sign next week inshallah, which is coming down of Isa alayhi salam. Okay, Ikhwan? So if there's any question, inshallah, I'll take the questions now.
I just want to make a clarification. You know, we were talking about the hadith where the Sahaba was drinking alcohol, and so he sitting next to the Prophet drinking alcohol, he's actually being flogged. I just want to make that clarification.
No, there's hadith of Anas, some of them flog, yeah. And he Rasulullah will use stick, whatever, yeah. Some of them is flogged. And this Sahabi, specifically, I don't know, but he was cursed by the Sahaba. The Prophet said, do not curse him, he's drinking alcohol. The point I'm trying to make is that he's alcoholic, okay? it's like halal, he made it halal. No, nothing for him, just drinks it. Like istihlal, amaliya, actions is like halal. But he's not saying I believe it's halal, but it's like he's drinking it, it's like istihlal for him, nothing for him, you know. Any major sin person does, if he continuously does it, it's like halal for him, he doesn't bother. So that's what istihlal amaliya, action manifests. But in his heart, he doesn't believe it. If he believes it, that will take him out of all of Islam. Okay, so when we have someone in authority, someone has power, and someone who allows major sins to take place, we cannot make takfir on them as long as they are Muslims. They are zalim, they are oppressors. Maybe we say this, then he's making halal in his limbs, his action is making it. He's not saying I believe it's halal, that's why I'm making halal. Then it's major kufr. Okay, so we have to differentiate istihlal al-amaliyya wal-i'tiqadiyya, belief and action. We have to differentiate those two, inshallah. Ibn Taymiyyah says that who istihlal is that someone does the action of sin and he believes it is halal, then he's kafir. Is that what it is? Yeah?
It was more to do with, some people had the matn of the hadith. They might have got the impression that the Sahaba was sitting there in front of the Prophet and drinking.
No, he was.
It was getting flogged.
Someone got flogged as well. The Prophet did, his companion. But maybe Sahaba were cursing him. Prophet said, don't curse him. He loves Allah and the Messenger. Yeah. Doesn't mean it's halal for us to drink. I love Allah and the Messenger, I'm drinking. No, go on.
I've got 2 questions. So, is it permissible to do khuruj against a non-Muslim ruler?
Even then, the hukum is the mafsada is great, isn't it? It goes back to the mafsada. If the mafsada is great, Muslim, non-Muslims, you can't, because preventing mafsada, harm, is greater than, if they didn't want to benefit, 30% benefit, but 70% is a mafsada, you can't do it. You can't do it. So Imam Shawkani said something as well in that.
Isn't that impossible to know? Like what would happen?
If you look naturally, I mean, if you think about it, 99% is going to be mafsada. There's never been, one of the sheikhs said, there's never been khuruj, revolting, except there's mafsada. There's no benefit in it. Okay, the khuruj are 2 types: verbally and physically. Verbally, you can do it. Okay, sitting with the ulama, and you can do it in a room, safe room. You can do it. Happened before, but khuruj badaniya relate to the body physically. That's conditions are met. They have to fulfill the conditions. Okay, you have to fulfill the conditions if you want to go out and do khuruj. And 99% is mafsada is great. There's no benefit in that. So the ulama, that's why Sharia forbids that. Allah forbid it because there's the benefit, there's the reason behind that. Yeah. Well, I think.
I'll get back to you.
Okay, I'll go for it.
What was the battle that the person confronted the Prophet?
It's not a battle. It's one of the. Ali radiallahu anhu sent some gold or silver to be distributed by Prophet ﷺ. He was distributing it, and while this person, Abdullah bin Dhul Khuwaysira Tamimi, he was in the gathering, and he said, "I'adil ya Muhammad," and that said, "This is the khuruj to Prophet for you to say that." Huh?
No, the Shia spoke and Ali came back with all this stuff. He was distributing it.
Prophet was distributing. Prophet. Yeah, hadith. Yeah, Prophet was distributing it.
So you know about istiqlal. What if there's an ikhtilaf in whether it's haram?
Okay.
And also, how do you differentiate?
Some istihlal is halal for you, but Sharia allows it. Some istihlal is kufr. Istihlal, which is halal for you, like again backbiting, lying. Okay, lying is not allowed, it's haram. Backbiting is haram. But if there's a backbiting where Sharia allows you to backbite, like for marriage, you have to. If you can backbite behind someone, in front of the ruler or judge, to help him, to guide him. Now we mentioned all that. There's seven reasons why you can backbite. He gives the conditions. 7 conditions you can backbite. One of them is marriage. One of them you can backbite behind Ahlul Bid'ah, innovators, who causing fasad on earth. You can warn against them. Okay? This backbite is halal. So you can say, I'm going to backbite against this person because it's halal. There's nothing wrong with that.
No, but what if it's not a word that is haram? What if, for example,
Backbiting.
no, not background, because everyone knows that that's definitely. That's,
Okay, drinking alcohol, zina.
Yeah, I'm talking about.
There's no khilaf on that.
No, I'm talking about the sins that do have khilaf. For example, like if someone believes niqab is haram.
No, the niqab is ikhtilaf.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That's
It's khilaf, or then someone believes that it's not, right?
No, he can't say that because there's ikhtilaf.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So how do you when it's valid?
No, this is different because niqab, because of the ikhtilaf, he can't say I'm making it's halal not to wear niqab. You have to make it halal because there's already khilaf on that. This is istihlal. Yeah, I mean, this is halal. You can say I'm making halal not to wear niqab. It's halal. Why? Because another opinion allows you to make it halal. Ibn Abbas said whatever the apparent, the face and the arm, face and the hand. Okay, so this istihlal is halal. Yeah, it's nothing wrong with that. Yeah.
What if there's ikhtilaf, but it's not a valid ikhtilaf?
No, but if there's ikhtilaf, you can always ikhtilaf. There's a valid. If the evidence are on both sides strong, then it is valid, isn't it? You not find ikhtilaf. There's no valid. I mean,
No, because isn't there
certain ikhtilaf. There's no basis in it. For example, I mentioned that. Say Allahu Akbar. There's no khilaf on it. There's one isolated opinion. Okay, and actually they say that you can say Allahu A'azam, Allahu Ajal, Allahu whatever, something glorifying Allah. Anything that you glorify Allah, you can say, you can start your salah with that. Nobody says this. This khilaf is not accepted khilaf. Only one isolated opinion. You can't take that and practice it because nobody accepts it. There's no evidence to support that. Understand? So if someone says, want to stand in the salah, Allahu Ajal, which is true. Allahu A'azam, which is true. But you can't use that word A'azam because you're worshipping Allah with Akbar, Allahu Akbar. And the hadith says that. So you can't have khilaf on that. So to say A'azam, your salah is not valid. Ibn Uthaymin talks about it. The only one isolated opinion, you can't. Like for example, one of the opinions is that another one, women don't need a wali to get married. One isolated opinion. La nikah illa bi wali. No woman cannot get married without a wali. One isolated opinion of Imam Abu Hanifa made. Nobody agree with that. So that cannot be a khilaf. There's no khilaf on that. Understand? So something like that, yeah.
So Shaykh, if there's ijma on something.
If it's ijma, there's evidence.
Ibn Taymiyyah said there's ijma, yeah, that you must fight against a ruler if he leaves any of the sharia. When he in his fatwa against the Tatars, he said it's no disagreement. Any of the sharia is left.
But we got understand why he fought.
So then
Why
if
did he
there's
fight?
If there's ijma, does that mean
Ijma?
if someone doesn't agree with that, they
with the condition though.
yeah.
Ibn Taymiyyah, when he did the khuruj, he was a condition. There's a condition fulfilled. But if the conditions are not fulfilled, the ulama says the mafsada is great. You don't make khuruj because that day Muslim upper hand. Okay. Now we cannot do khuruj because it's gonna. As you can see, mafsada is great. You can't use one incident to say now everyone do it because mafsada is going to be more greater. Bloodshed is going to be great. 99%.
But the brother's probably asking, because in our time,
Yeah.
that is the topic of the moment. Now, there's so much fitna with Qur'an.
Yeah.
And then Ahlul Bidah, they're bringing all of this evidence
Yeah.
from ulama.
How can we say go and do it then? Do it and show us he works. Go and do it and come to me, brother. Clean khuruj.
It's almost like a flaw in Islam is perfect, but it's almost like there's a flaw in Islam as a whole because it says that all you have to do, all enemies of Allah have to do is just okay, we'll put a non-Muslim ruler there. That's it, finish. You can't fight against them. It doesn't really make sense.
That's why the Quran says and Sunnah said, the Prophet said that obey them in good. Obey them in good. If they're going to come and take your blood and kill you, then fight them. But if they're rulers, you can obey them in good. Khalas, that's sufficient for you. Obey them, because if you want to topple them, it's going to make you worse. It's going to make you worse. That's what it is.
Other scholars interpret the hadith that says, as long as they pray among you. So
whether it's going to
Which one?
I think it's the hadith where it's meant to be Hassan. Yeah, don't strike them with the sword because so long as they do the prayer.
It's a hadith. I think it's Dhul Khuwaisira one. I think. This is, and when it was, I think Khalid bin Walid, another one. He said, another narration said, "Let me behead him." Prophet, no, don't leave him. He prays, something like that.
He's talking about
Yeah.
if they beat your backs and take your wealth.
This is this is also we have a hadith, very strict hadith. Even they beat you up and they oppress you.
They oppress you, it's okay.
You still obey them. You still obey them. Yeah. But if they call you to worship other than Allah, okay, then you go fight back. You go fight. You can't let the shirk go on.
When they stop paying zakat, Abu Bakr fought them. So, for example,
But these are Arkanul Islam, though, isn't it? That's Arkanul Islam. He fought, and he was the Khalifa, and he was the Khalifa, and to do khuruj you need authority. He wasn't the authority. He was the Khalifa Amir al-Mu'mineen, and he had the power, so he did it. Yeah.
What's scary is I was watching some stuff and these are Khariji type guys, and they released a video and it was very comprehensive, and they were giving fatwa from Ibn Taymiyyah, Al-Fawzan, and they were using the same evidences that the Khariji, from Surah Al-Ma'idah, the one who does not believe about Allah or God, who's a kafir, Al-Fawzan said that, Al-Taymiyyah said it. So it gets really confusing because Ahlul Sunnah, they'll be fatwa from the same scholars saying it's not permissible. Then they do the same. So a question was asked in United was, so said this based on this. Why are Jews a kafir if he doesn't believe, whether he believes in his heart or not?
Okay.
If he
This ayat, وَمَنْ لَمْ يَحْكُمْ بِمَا أَنزَلَ اللَّهُ فَأُولَٰئِكَ هُمُ الْكَافِرُونَ is kufr duna kufr. The word kufr, when it's mentioned in the Quran and Sunnah, it can come major kufr or minor kufr. Prophet ﷺ said, Sibabul Muslim fusuq wa qital kufr. To swear to your brother is a sin, to fight him is a kufr. Doesn't mean if you fight you're a kafir. La, you're not a kafir, you're still a Muslim. So in the Quran the word kufr comes in, okay, it can be a major kufr or minor kufr. This ayah, whoever doesn't rule by what Allah has revealed is kafir. Ibn Abbas says lesser kufr. Okay? It can be a fasiq, he can be a zalim. Allah mentioned 3 times in the Quran, وَمَنْ لَمْ يَحْكُمْ بِأَنْزَلَ فَأُولَٰئِكَ هُمُ الْكَافِرُونَ وَالظَّالِمُونَ وَفَاسِقُونَ. So when does the ruler become a kafir, zalim and a fasiq? You got to understand that. He become a kafir if a ruler rules other than Allah, believing it is halal. He believes Allah's law is no better than my law. He believes Allah's law is not suitable for our time. Then if he believes that, then this is kufr i'tiqadiyya. This is kufr, major kufr. But if he rules other than Allah, he doesn't believe any of these, but he wants money, he wants benefit for the public, he takes rishwa, bribe and all that, then he falls under zalim, he's fasiq, he's still a Muslim. Okay? The conditions are there. You can't just call him a kafir because he rules by Allah Azza wa Jal. So when Ibn Taymiyyah and the scholar give fatwa, you have to understand the background, what situation, what time they're saying. So it's not right to take Ibn Taymiyyah fatwa and then khalas, put it there. It's not right. You have to understand what it meant by it. Understand? So ruling by other than what Allah has revealed, either he's a kafir, fasiq and zalim. You have to understand the 3 words. Kafir, fasiq and zalim. What it means. Yeah, the conditions are there. Because all rulers are not same. They're not same level.
I think there's 2 extremes. Like some people say like completely nothing, and then there's other groups who fight. Any Muslim group that fight, for example, they'll kill Muslims.
Like the Khawarij.
Somewhere in between, I think.
The Khawarij Prophet said, but the Khawarij, the Khawarij, the Prophet said that يقتلون المسلمون ويدعون الأوثان عبدة الأوثان, that they will kill the Muslims and they will leave the other worshippers. Okay, so this is a vast subject. Yes, ruling by what are we talking about? But I hope this is enough to explain a bit. Inshallah, understand. Istihlal and khuruj. Khuruj, general principle is not allowed. If you want to do khuruj, go ask a scholar, he will give you fatwa. Allowed, not allowed. It's not going to be. A lot of Muslims want to take over London. What are you talking about? Take over London. They're giving you rent to pay, housing benefit. They're giving you a job. They know every step you're making. What are you talking about? Take over London. This statement doesn't make sense.
So would it be right to say then that regardless or whether the one who doesn't rule by what Allah revealed is a kafir or not, you don't have quwwah, you don't have ability. The solution, you're only providing half of the solution. Okay, you should make khuruj. Just say, okay, he's a kafir, totally, he's a bad anything. But then what comes after? If you look at Egypt, if you look at Syria, if you look at Algeria, the end result has been everyone suffering.
Suffering.
There hasn't been any benefit from it. And I understand in principle, because they want the ruler come to us something to your wife, your mom, you're the same.
Then you defend them, isn't it?
But the end result is the destruction that came
End
from
product, there's no benefit.
was a million times worse. Because they haven't got anyone to replace it. There's no peace, no
He
tranquility.
thinks he'd never be there in history. This is going to cause more of an issue than anything.
What's wrong?
That's the only way I can rationalize it, because we have feelings and stuff.
That's what the ulama said.
Really strong.
لا يزال الضرر بضرر. You do not remove harm with the harm. You don't. Because it's going to make you more harm.
I think the problem is the people who practice towards that kind of thing, they usually have an extreme mindset. So even if it's permissible, I think
After takfirism, it literally starts from there. So once you get takfir of Quran, then the next level is making suicide.